All right, folks, strap in because we got a lot to unpack today. And we start with a sore one for the Celtic support. Last night in the Glasgow Cup final, it was heartbreak for Celtic B. After a 1-1 draw in regular time, the young Hoops were edged out by Rangers B on penalties. And let me tell you, it stings. It always does when it's against that lot, no matter the level. Rhys Dargy, or Dargy depending on who you're listening to, got our only goal of the night, reacting quickly after a deflected effort from Jude Bonner, slotting it home with the kind of instinct you want to see in a young attacker. But penalties, as we know, are a cruel way to settle any match. Lewis Darby stepped up with the final kick, needing to convert to keep us in it, but he dragged it wide. Game over. Trophy gone. Bragging rights lost. Now, fair play to the lads. According to the manager, Stephen McManus, the performance was actually pretty solid. They dominated in parts, got themselves into good areas, but the killer instinct just wasn't there. That final ball, the final shot, not sharp enough. And it's something they'll need to learn from. Losing to Rangers at any level can't become a habit. These games matter, or they matter to the fans, and they need to matter to the players coming through as well. You wear the shirt, you feel that pressure, and it should push you to do better. The players will grow from this, sure, but they need to grow quickly. This isn't just about development, it's about building a winning mentality. Right, let's turn the page before we all start punching the wall. There's plenty of football to talk about today, and let's be honest, it gets a bit more uplifting from here. Though, before we dive into league politics and structural chat, just a wee reminder, this community is growing fast, and we're pushing towards that next milestone. 15,000 subscribers by the end of the season. That's the target. If you're one of the many watching but haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Takes 5 seconds, costs nothing, and means you're officially part of the Celtic AM family. Every click helps, and it keeps us bringing you more of the good stuff. Moans, laughs, analysis, and the occasional meltdown. Alright, on to the story that never dies. League reconstruction, a topic that rears its head every couple of years. Usually with a big sigh from everyone involved. But here we are again. Earlier this month, it was reported that discussions were underway about possibly changing the structure of the Scottish Premiership. The idea was to shake things up, reduce fixture congestion, and maybe even align things a bit better with the demands of modern football. Ideas were floated, a 10-team league, a 14-team league, even a 16-team setup. But, as usual, after all the talking and debating, the end result is no change. The latest reports suggest we're sticking with the current 12-team format in the top flight. All those discussions came to nothing because none of the proposals had enough support to be taken forward. You'd need 11 out of 12 Premiership clubs to agree, and that was never going to happen. Now, that's not to say nothing will change lower down. There's talk that the Championship might expand to 12 or 14 teams, and that Leagues 1 and 2 could be merged into a new division with 16 or 18 sides. That's where things could get interesting. It wouldn't affect Celtic directly, of course, but if you're a fan of the wider Scottish game, and let's face it, a lot of us are, it could mean better competition, fewer meaningless fixtures, and maybe a more exciting pyramid overall. But in the Premiership, status quo, 12 teams, the same split, the same arguments about how fair it is, and the same fixture pileup that kicked off this whole conversation in the first place. It's a bit disappointing, but not surprising. The idea of shrinking the league to 10 teams was always going to be unpopular. Most fans, and let's be honest, most managers, think 12 is already too small. A 10-team top flight means you're playing each other 4 times a season minimum. It's repetitive, it's boring, and it doesn't help with the quality of the product. When the news first broke, it seemed like the league was looking for a way to reduce the number of games, particularly to give more breathing room for European competition and to prevent the kind of schedule overload we've seen recently. And that does make sense on the surface. Celtic's calendar over the winter months was utterly insane. From late November to early March, we had one free midweek. That's nearly 3 months of playing every weekend and every midweek. It was relentless. There was that one game against Dundee that got called off because of the weather, but the team still had to prep for it like it was going ahead. It was only cancelled at the last minute, so the workload didn't really ease up. The concern from the SPFL seems to be, what happens if we're not so lucky in future seasons? What if the weather is worse? What if we go deeper into Europe? What If we've got even more games to squeeze into that already brutal winter period, it's a valid point, to be fair. This year we kind of got away with it. But next year, who knows? So while the league reconstruction chat has been shelved for now, don't be shocked if it comes back on the table sooner rather than later, especially if another season like this comes around and it turns into a proper scheduling nightmare. Now, as much as we'd all love a 16 or even 18 team league where you only play each other twice, like they do in England or Spain or Italy, the reality is more complicated. Sky Sports, who, whether we like it or not, pump a decent bit of cash into the Scottish game, want their big games. They want 4 Celtic v Rangers matches per season. They want 4 Celtic v Hearts, 4 Celtic v Aberdeen. Even if they don't show them all live, they want the option. A bigger league means fewer guaranteed marquee fixtures, and that doesn't sit well with broadcasters. It's frustrating because it feels like the fans' desires, variety, competitiveness, freshness are always second to commercial interests. Still, the fixture issue hasn't gone away, and with more European matches potentially on the horizon, not just for Celtic but for other Scottish teams too, it's only going to get trickier. Maybe the solution is shifting the season forward, starting in late July instead of early August, to open up more midweeks later on. Or maybe we play more games during the spring when the weather's actually decent. Why do we cram in all the night games during the worst months of the year? November, December, January, when it's freezing wet and miserable. And then when the evenings are brighter, warmer, and actually pleasant for football, there's hardly any midweek matches. Makes no sense. It's something the league really needs to look at. So yeah, for now, we're staying with 12 teams in the Premiership. Nothing's changing at the top. But don't be fooled into thinking this is the end of the conversation. This will come back around, okay, probably within 18 months. And maybe next time it'll be driven more by necessity than by theory. When you're forced to act, things tend to happen a bit faster. Maybe by then, there'll be enough momentum for a real change. And listen, while we're on the topic of changes, let me give you a quick heads up about this weekend. The referee appointments are out for the derby against Rangers, and it's Nick Walsh with the whistle. Familiar face. His assistants will be Frank Connor and Dougie Potter, and Andrew Dallas is on VAR, which, let's be honest, is always a talking point. Walsh was in charge the last time we played them in a big match. Remember the Scottish Cup final? Philippe Clement had plenty to say afterwards, not exactly showering the ref with praise. But then again, does he ever when his side loses? Will also be heading up to Aberdeen soon for our final away match of the league season. That one's now been moved to an 8 o'clock kickoff, live on Sky Sports. Not sure why they've picked that game. Maybe just to fill a gap in the schedule, but it's another one for the diary. And believe it or not, our only remaining match this season not on TV is the one against Hibernian at Celtic Park. Everything else is being broadcast. Also, for the 2,000 fans traveling to Ibrox on Sunday, John Paul Taylor's put out some important info. Supporters are being asked to gather at the Broomloan Coach Park from 9:30, with the aim of getting everyone inside the stadium by 10:30. Ticket checks will be happening on the way in, so make sure you've got yours ready. It's an early start, but that's par for the course with these games now. And before we wrap up this section, one last bit of transfer gossip. Alexandro Bernabe, remember him? The Argentine fullback is reportedly attracting interest from La Liga side Sevilla. They've had a rough season, but they're not going down and they're looking to rebuild. Bernabe, now playing in Brazil with International, seems to be back on the radar. And here's the Celtic connection. We apparently included a sell-on clause when he moved. So if this transfer goes through, we could be due a wee windfall. Nothing. Massive. It's not going to fund the whole rebuild, but every penny helps. Same goes for Jeremy Frimpong, who might be on the move again this summer. We're talking millions in potential income just from clauses like these. Use it wisely. Celtic. Top-level striker needed, please. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Kieran Tierney is back where it all began. In a move that has electrified the green half of Glasgow, Celtic have officially announced the return of their prodigal son. The left back, who came through the club's youth ranks and became a fan favorite during his first spell, has sealed a sensational homecoming that set Parkhead alight. Tierney's journey has come full circle. After leaving Celtic in 2019 for Arsenal and a record-breaking transfer for a Scottish player, he now returns with a wealth of experience and a point to prove. His time in London brought highs and lows, with injuries often interrupting spells. Of fine form, a loan move to Real Sociedad followed, where Tierney regained fitness and minutes, reminding everyone of the marauding full-back who once dominated the Scottish Premiership. Now, with the ink dry on his Celtic deal, he's back in the hoops, and he looks hungrier than ever. The return has sparked immense excitement among the Celtic faithful. Few players have connected with the fans the way Tierney did. From kissing the badge as a teenager to throwing himself into tackles with fearless commitment, he embodied everything the supporters love. His passion and his grit and his unmatched engine down the left flank made him a standout, not just in Scotland, but across Britain. Manager Brendan Rodgers, who worked with Tierney during his first spell at the club, was instrumental in bringing him back. It's no secret that Rodgers sees Tierney as a cornerstone for building a dominant side, especially with European ambitions in mind. The timing of the move couldn't be more perfect. Celtic are chasing silverware on multiple fronts, and the injection of leadership, quality, and sheer determination Tierney provides could prove crucial in the months ahead. As the fans ready their scarves and the chants echo once more around paradise, one thing is certain: Kieran Tierney has returned. Not just as a player, but as a symbol of homegrown pride, of unfinished business, and of belief that sometimes in football, fairy tales do come true. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.